Hello, everybody. This is Andy, and welcome to episode 5. Are we on episode 5? Something like that, of Celestial Journey. And as you can see, oh my goodness, there's so much more stuff than last time. Basically, nothing effectively has changed. I just added 28 more molecular assemblers and 28 more interfaces to our auto crafting setup. I added three more crafting CPUs and a total of four 16K crafting CPUs, each with 3 crafting co-processing units. And I hooked up a couple more controllers to dense smart cables and P2P tunnels so we can transfer, I believe this is 24 channels out of this front face. We can pull 28 out of the side faces, 28 more out of the side faces should we need it, and another 24 out of the back, plus like, I don't know, maybe like 16 out of the middle. We will never need that many channels, I don't think, but it's nice to know that they're there if we do need them. I've also gone ahead and let this thing run for a very long time. It's still working. I'll probably turn it off for a little bit, but to indicate just how much this thing has gotten, we have almost 500 stacks of iron ore. We have 9 stacks of charged Certus, and I've used like 3 or 4 of these in order to make all the components over there. And this stuff is incredibly rare. We have 40 stacks of normal Certus and 45 stacks of Draconium. We have a lot of things, which is really, really cool. Hey, and a bunch of obsidian too. That's actually going to help a ton in order to make the dark steel. How much actual obsidian is 17 stacks? It's got to be at least 1,000, right? Yeah, 1,092. That's pretty good. And in between episodes, I did start crafting up a ton of electrical steel. I ordered a whole 1,000. I actually only ordered this like 15 minutes ago, so it's slowly working its way through, but 300 is enough to start. We want to make a pattern for patterns. We want to start auto-crafting our auto-crafting components if we can. And where is it? This. It's not in pattern mode. Okay. That should be good, so we need this. I want to use pure Certus because it's twice as efficient. I need a pattern for vibrant quartz, and we need to make a way to autocraft pure Certus. We'll do that later in the episode. For now, I think I'm just going to batch craft it. How much pure do I have? That's not how you spell that. I have 166. That's enough for now. And now we can just start filling up our molecular assemblers. So if I go into here, I say, hey, give me 32 more patterns. It's going to say, hey, I don't know how to make quartz glass, which means I need to put a pattern for that in. And then I can say, make me 32 patterns, and it should just start going. It's pretty slow. I didn't put acceleration in cards in our molecular assemblers yet, but that will happen soon-ish. And since we have 4 crafting CPUs now, I can have the electrical steel craft going on at the same time as a bunch of other crafts. These 32 patterns will come in handy soon. Okay, I put in every recipe for the ME drive except for the hyper diamond. That's required for the advanced circuit here. Someone's sneaking up on me. You jerk. Get out of here. I'm trying to blow up my base here. I think it just says created by putting graphite dust into an explosion, so I don't think we even need diamonds. I just need to blow up graphite dust. And this shouldn't cause any damage to my base. These chunks are claimed. Oh, nice. Perfect. Diamonds. I thought that was going to be more expensive than it was. And here we go. Let's auto-craft 2 ME drives, and it shouldn't even take that long. It doesn't need to craft that many things. The electrical steel's already... Oh, wait. Did I make a bunch of dark steel? I guess so. We can now set up 2 ME drives. I do need to put in recipes for storage cells. I'm going to try and use 16Ks, which is going to require a little bit of work. Oh no, I put in some pure Certus. Did it despawn? That would be so sad. Okay, good. No, it didn't. It's probably really close to the despawn timer, actually. I also added the 4 other crystal growth accelerators for this thing. I think technically you can have 6. You can put 1 on top. However, then you have to get the items in there somehow. And you have to use like teleportation. Not about that. But with 5 total, this thing is incredibly fast. Probably about a minute for 500 pure Certus quartzes, which is, I believe, almost exactly how much I needed to make the 16K storage cells. Can I make 20? I'm missing 300 pure and a little bit of iron, so let's make 10 for now. That should allow us to put all of our items into digital storage. And who's sneaking up on me? You guys need to stop doing this, please. This craft is going to take a very long time. It's already been probably 5-ish minutes since I started it off, and we're probably somewhere around halfway done. I needed like 600 redstone alloy ingots, which means this is definitely something we're going to have to passive in the very near future. And I believe I want to set up alloy smelters for most different alloys because we're going to need just so many of so many different ones that it's just worth it. So I will not start this off right now, but I have the ability to start off as many alloy smelters as I want, and we're going to set up ore processing in just a little bit, so that's going to come in handy because Ender IO machines are the most good at doing the thing of like smelting and sag milling, and therefore I'm going to use them literally everywhere. While I was waiting for the storage cells to craft up, I got all the way up to reinforced jetpack. I think feasibly we can get to a flux infused jet plate. Like this is not the standard recipe. This is a changed recipe, I think, which means I think we have everything we need to do it. I just need to make a fluid transposer, do some crafting here. Like, this is an incredible jetpack, and I kind of really want to have it. But I did get locked because alloy smelters were an issue. But I think all of our storage... Oh, man. I cannot smell today. I can't smell today. Can't spell today or speak today. That's 7, which means there's 2 more to finish up in here. And I think this recipe is stealing all my energetic alloy, actually, right now. But that's okay. 7 is enough to get to 8 total things in here, and it should be enough to begin transferring all of our items into digital storage. Do I have a magnet? No, I should make a magnet. Turns out magnets are heavily gated in this pack, so I just have to spill all my items out onto the ground and throw them in here the old-fashioned way. Shouldn't be that much of an issue. We don't even have any sound right now, so I don't get that satisfying click-clock of putting items in, but I think I'll live. And there we go. That's everything transferred over. We're using up 4 full cells full of types, none of bytes, and a little bit of a 5th one, but the other 5 are still completely empty, so we can fill this in at our leisure. I don't think we're going to have a whole ton of items in our ME system in this playthrough anyways. A lot of stuff is going to be in drawers or stored on site like these rubbers are. And just a little bit of work later, there is the resonant jetpack. We're not going to go to the flux infused jet plate right now, I don't think, but we will armor it because this is, I think, at least as good as diamond armor. And it looks pretty cool. This thing does now need to be charged. And how fast do you charge? Also, what capacitor did I give you? You do... Oh, you'll just shove your entire internal buffer in there if you... Okay, this thing might take a minute, but it only uses 200 RF per tick, which is not that much. I only got it charged up to 17% right now. I'll leave it in there and let it run for a little bit, but I do think we need to upgrade our turbine very, very soon. But it's not perfect. It doesn't have a perfect hover, but it's pretty fast, and it's a lot easier to control than the jetpack in All the Mod 6. Let's continue on with the theme of upgrading our applied energetics system. Here is the wireless terminal, and next step is... Wait, I know we have universal terminals. Okay, we'll deal with that in a second. I need a security station. The thing I was mumbling about is we have universal terminals in this pack, so we can, I think this should be fine, upgrade our wireless terminal with a crafting terminal in order to get the item and crafting terminal in this thing. We can't open it yet because I don't have the security station. I am working on it. I think I just need, yeah, I need a 16K storage component. That's going to take just a moment, and that'll be all right. But this is a way around making the crazy recipe for the crafting terminal, which is gated behind 1,000, wait, that is, yeah, 16,000K storage components, which is 16,000 pieces, or 16,000 1Ks, but you need 2 of them, so it's 32,000, almost 33,000 1Ks, and these things. Looks a little hard. I'm gonna do this instead. Alright, here's the security station, and it's not gonna connect to the subnetwork, I don't think. I don't even know if this thing uses channels anyway, so it might not even matter. But we just throw this in here. It should link to our network, and I put a wireless access point right here. So within 16 blocks of this thing, we have access to this. And I think if I do this, we shift over to crafting mode. Okay. Yes, so this is wonderful. Technically kind of cheating. I don't know if it's changed in a newer version of the pack because I think I'm one update behind. But if this is going to work, it's going to work. In order to increase the range by which we can use this wireless crafting terminal, we want to make some wireless boosters. I've made one. I think I'm going to go for 32, so I'll make 31 more. It's going to take some time to craft because it needs to make a little bit of dark steel, a little bit of redstone alloy, which is perfectly fine. But with this one, I can show that we're at 16 range. It then goes to 17 range. And this is a radius, not a diameter, I believe. So that means I can go like 16, 17 blocks this way and still use it. And right here, we're out of range, but this is like 16-ish blocks right here. Yeah, so it's definitely a radius, which means it gets exponentially larger as you add more of the cards. My network keeps blinking on and off, which means I'm not producing enough power quite, or I think I'm producing almost enough to keep up with, but every once in a while it blacks out, which means we are producing just slightly in a deficit for power, which means I need to go find some more cobalt and ardite to make more manulin, and I'll do that, and hopefully we can make maybe like 10 more turbines. That'd be an extra 5k RF per tick. That'd be pretty incredible. Alright, friends, it has been a minute since I've recorded. I've had some stuff going on, and it's probably been 4 or 5 days since I recorded this series, or really any series at all, and I'm sorry about that. But, you know, I kind of need that for my own mental health right now, because things are not super great. However, you know, that's not really your problem, and I still like to play video games, so let's do this. One thing that did change between last time and this time is I installed Applied Energistics 2 Trousers Edition, which changes a couple of things. Most significantly, it changes the way the pattern terminal works. So let's say I want to make something like a plate recipe. I need, let's say, lead plates, and that can be done in a compactor like this. But, you know, the Applied Energistics system can sometimes be too slow pushing into machines for, you know, how fast the machine works. So sometimes you'll have machines that have such fast working speeds that they actually have downtime with the normal Applied Energistics pushing rate. So what you can do is you can multiply this recipe. So like using this button. So it says, you know, it's just 2 times and 3 times and then +1 and -1. These are kind of useless except for very specific scenarios because, you know, sometimes this changes the way recipes work. Like it doesn't scale correctly, but, you know, I'm rambling a little bit. I need to just get to the point. Basically, it adds a multiplication button here, which is really, really nice for changing the amount in recipes, and it adds a couple of extra buttons on the interface terminal. First of all, we can highlight interfaces in World, so if I want to find that interface with those patterns in it, I can just go directly to it. It'll flash for a couple of seconds, maybe 10 seconds, and then it'll stop. I can also choose to only show molecular assemblers, or if I am not showing molecular assemblers, I can also choose to only show things that aren't full. You are also now able to search between inputs and outputs. So instead of just being able to search for the industrial machine chassis here, industrial machine chassis, I can search for the simple die blend. And that will also pull up the industrial machine chassis because it uses it. I don't believe it actually changes any gameplay functionality of this. Channels are still on, all that kind of stuff still works just perfectly fine. I now have 2 interface terminals, so I can set one on just molecular assemblers and the other on the normal stuff. But yeah, the IMI system is effectively exactly the same, just a couple of quality of life improvements that I'm pretty happy about. Now, I did go ahead and order a bunch of sag mills, alloy smelters, and capacitors, as well as upgrade all my conduits to Ender energy conduits because, you know, this thing will eventually produce more than what the 5. Actually, right now it already produces at max capacity more than the 5,000 RF per tick that it could output before. So, one, I'm now extracting from 2 sides, and this does not need to be active. And it can pull 20,000 from each connection, which is really, really nice. We are going to have energy producers that pull more or that can push more than 20,000, but I don't think we're going to have any machines that can use more than 20,000 at least for some time. Is this very pretty? No, it's incredibly tall compared to the rest of the stuff in our base, but it's going to be our ore processing for the time being. So what I want to do is start automatically producing dusts and then smelting those into ingot forms, and then we'll probably just shove them in a drawer wall right here. These alloy smelters are going to actually end up pulling a bunch of RF, but I think we might be able to handle it right now as long as our miner isn't running, which it's not at the moment. I'm just setting up the item conduits here, but I do want to say before I finish this all up, the conduit probe is incredible for things like this. You can copy and paste conduit settings, which saves a ton of time when you need to configure literally like 100 conduits all at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these alloys or these sag mills right here. I might provide them with grinding balls. I'm not entirely sure if I care though. And then they're going to output into this chest as a buffer. This is going to be a large buffer because I believe these will produce slightly more than these can handle, and they'll run at the exact same speed, I think. So we are producing slightly more than 2 ores per ore in here, and we can only smelt double the amount of ores because we have double the amount of alloy smelters. That'll be fine. It just means the system might back up here and there. I am going to turn all of these alloy smelters into furnace mode, which is going to be a little obnoxious because I don't think there's like a copy paste gadget the same way that what is it, thermal expansion has. They have a conduit copy paste gadget, but not a machine one. There we go. All of the conduits are configured, and since we're producing the ores and storing the ores in drawers over here, I'm going to not use an ender chest or a conduit or whatever to move the ores over here. I'm just going to use the applied energistic system. So what we can do is we can set these interfaces on the hide on interface terminal mode, shove an ore in here, and it should start getting pulled out and shoved into these guys. And as you can see, gold ore is being produced and things will get shoved into here. And it looks like it's also going to produce cobblestone, which is getting smelted into stone. Do I particularly care about that? I don't have a way to produce stone. I think I'm just all right with that. That's fine with me. I do want to turn these all on round robin mode. So let's go back and use the conduit probe just to get all of these bad boys working quickly. And that should start to fill these guys up, right? Well, these also need to be on round robin. And maybe some extract speed upgrades. Do I have any of those? Extract. I can make some. Make me... I don't have stone, actually. I don't have a recipe for chests. What? And there we go. Looks like everything is running nice and fine. Are we producing power at the maximum rate? It appears as though we are, which means... Actually, we might be at a perfect standstill on power. This might be exactly just under 5,500 RF per tick, which is fine with me, honestly. Why did you stop? You must not have gotten a full stack like some of these guys did. Okay, that is perfectly fine. It can smelt 3 things per alloy smelter at a time, which is pretty cool. We are also getting gold at an astronomical rate. I had 200 gold like a minute and a half ago, so this thing is pretty fast at its job. Now, actually, maybe extract speeds. That many extract speeds is a bad idea for this one. Let's do... That would be what? That would be 16? Yeah, 16 should be good. And that should allow it to push into most alloy smelters. And I went ahead and added all of the ores that we produce using that guy to the list. We need a second IMI interface, just barely, which is why I have 2 here. And we'll process all of these on demand. There are a couple of things that we can't process on demand, and that would be the Divine RPG ores mostly. I don't think there's anything else right now that we can't process. Oh, Cinnabar is also one of those. We'll need to maybe use like a flux anodizer or something in a redstone furnace in order to double this output. And same for these guys, because... yeah, or an induction smelter with sand because we produce sand automatically. Either works. We'll probably just smelt those on demand because we don't need them in huge quantities. I looked through the grinding balls. The only one that seems slightly viable is the redstone alloy grinding ball because it's super easy to make and then craft. But the only thing it does is reduce power use to 35%, which I guess makes things run faster, but it's, in my opinion, just not really worth setting up. So I'm not going to. Since we're kind of working on quality of life today, let's also set up another system for making pures automatically. We don't need an incredible amount of pures, but I'd rather double the output for a lot of recipes that use Certus, if possible. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to have an interface here. I'm going to have an item dropper from open blocks, and I think that's facing the wrong way. So can I just turn you to that side? Okay, perfect. This thing is actually pretty nice because we can set the speed to 2 per operation, I guess. So it'll drop 2 things per operation, up to 4 things. Might as well do 4 things. We have no reason not to. And let's point this up into a chest so it doesn't push directly into the item dropper. I don't think I want it to because its inventory is kind of small. And then we can just pull with an item conduit into the item dropper, probably with a couple of extract speeds, right? Because I have, cannot type. I can pull, yeah, let's do 2. We can handle that. Extract on there, insert on green, and then I just need to put the recipes into here. Things should go into there, into the chest, into the item dropper, get dropped into the water, assuming this thing drops straight down. If it doesn't, we're going to have a slight issue. I renamed the interface to be called Growth Accelerator. If I highlight it, you can see it's right there. Pretty cool feature. I'm actually kind of obsessed with it. And we used the encoding recipe thing over here to tell it to make 64 pure Certus at a time. So that'll be nice. And I'm getting snuck up on. Please. Ow. Please die. Please die. They can't do any damage to me because I have dark steel armor now. It's pretty cheap to craft. And the jetpack armor, which is, I believe, the equivalent of a diamond jetpack or a chest plate. But they're still noxious. Monsters still do hurt me from time to time. So let's go ahead and order a little bit of pure. We'll just do 1. It'll make 64, and hopefully it'll just shove into here exactly how I want it to. Please stop. Everything appeared to work properly. However, I kind of assumed this thing would drop automatically, considering it has this weird interface, and I didn't check this. But I think we just need to give it a timer pulse every once in a while. It's going to look a little ugly, but it's just going to go right there. And I'll just give it a pulse every 10 ticks-ish. That should be fine. And it should shove them right into there. And as soon as they grow up, we need to wait to collect them. And the way I'm going to do that is with a drawer, a locked drawer, and an item collector. As you can see, our pures are done growing, so I'll just pick those up. And what we can do is have this drawer put the pure Certus in there, so it only will be able to collect this exact item, which is the grown-up pure Certus quartz crystal. We can put an ender hopper pretty much anywhere. It can just go right there, I think. So the only item this ender hopper can pick up right now is that pure Certus quartz crystal. If we put pure flukes and pure nether quartz in here ever, we can also just add them to this filter, and that'll be perfectly fine. Now, I should just be able to use an item conduit to extract back into our IMI system, just like this. Yep, that's shoving into that interface. Let's just extract on brown, insert on brown, and we should see the craft begin to complete. Perfect. And just for good measure, I went ahead and made the other 2 pures just because, you know, put them in the IMI system now, we don't need to make it later. And I'll order them so we can set them to the filter, because I don't think I have any in the IMI system at all. Okay, do that, and I'll wait here for them to finish up so I can set the filters. Alright guys, I finished most of the stuff that I wanted to do this episode. We didn't get to agricraft or maxing out the turbines. I'll need to set up the builder in the nether for that, because grabbing the ardite and cobalt by hand is just the worst thing in the entire world. So I'm just simply not gonna do that. Anyways, I think the video is probably a little bit short, but I just don't have any more time. And if it's like 20 minutes, I think you'll be all right. So, yeah, have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, we'll get a lot more done, and we can really get into some of the magic stuff next episode, because I'd love to get a little bit more into blood magic, Botania, all that cool stuff, because it's really, really interesting in this pack. I hope you have a fantastic day, like I said, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.